doing today? First morning on the ship. This is a good show. It's 11:30. I would judge a little bit if you were struggling already, but that's fine. No struggles, exactly. We are at sea, and we are here to do the Star Trek Discovery panel. I'm very excited. So, can I just get a show of hands? How many first-time crews? Yeah, wow, a ton. There's a lot of them about. That's great. So for those of you who don't know me, my name is Erin Macdonald. You may hear people say Dr. Erin around the room. Thank you. You're too kind. I actually got my start working on Star Trek as one of the science advisors for season 3 of Star Trek Discovery, so the show's very special to me. I did work a lot on the burn. Don't ask me about the spore drive. I'm kidding. I can talk about it. We made it work. But you're not here to listen from me. You'll see me around the ship and giving lots of science talks later. Today we are here to we are here to hear from the stars of Star Trek Discovery. First up, I would like to bring out David Benjamin Tomlinson. Welcome, welcome. Have a seat. Next up, we have Raven Dauda. Welcome out. Woo-hoo. Next up, please welcome to the stage Avaah Blackwell. Next, we are going to welcome Mr. Anthony Rapp. And last but certainly not least, Doug Jones. Welcome to the stage. Excellent. All right. Let's settle in. We have a few of you who've been on the ship before and a few newcomers to the ship. So I just want to go down the row if you want to introduce yourself, and for new faces out there who you played on the show. Some of you had multiple characters. And let everyone know who you are. You don't have to name all of them.
I'm David Benjamin Tomlinson, and I primarily played Linus.
I'm Raven Dauda, and I played Dr. Tracy Pollard.
Yes.
I'm Avaah Blackwell, and I primarily played Oz Nollis, and a long list after.
I'm Anthony Rapp. I played Paul Stamets.
And hi, I'm Doug Jones, and I played Commander Captain Ambassador Saru.
Excellent. Thank you. So, as you may have heard, there were multiple characters, people on the show. Of those of you who had to be in prosthetics for Star Trek Discovery. For David and Avaah, was this your first time as an actor in prosthetics? Were you new to this? We can start with you.
Yeah, it was something I'd always thought about, but I didn't think it would ever go that way, and suddenly it went that way, and I found myself as wearing a Klingon makeup in season 1, and it was I kept walking around the set. I'm a Klingon right now. What is happening? It was amazing. It was amazing. Klingon was a trial by fire, that makeup, but Linus was home.
I love that. I love that. Did you find, in terms of, because we both have a mutual friend in Mary Chifo, and she talked a lot about how she had to really learn more to act with her eyes. Did you find those challenges?
Yeah, there's wearing a mask. The mask, this is something that Doug taught me, that the mask doesn't end at the end of the prosthetic. It travels through the whole body, through the toes and through the hands, and so it becomes a very physical performance. It becomes a very alive performance, and the posture changes. And the big challenge with Linus was I didn't have a lot of movement with his face, and people couldn't see my eyes, so it was hard to convey an emotion. So I created a vocabulary of head tilts and bobs to sort of like emotionally have a conversation with people if I didn't have anything to say at that moment. And that became sort of the cornerstone of that character, those sort of emotional. And I still find if I'm on the subway and I hear a loud noise, I'll go, I know, like, easy, Linus, we're fine. We're fine, it's okay.
Amazing. What about you, Ava? Was it new for you?
Well, that stretch in prosthetics was new for me. My very first prosthetics role professionally was 12 Monkeys. I played the Alabaster Woman. And in my high school play, when I was 16, I played a parrot who thought she was a pirate. So she was alive and she got up and did a whole bunch of bird stuff. So that was my first time in like a prosthetic, but then, yeah. Osnalis, who later was named Lieutenant Arav, was my first stretch. Yeah. And my first day on set, I got wielded in it, and I can't see anything in Osnalis, and I can barely hear anything. So they shuttled me in. I saw like peaks and bobs of the bridge, and like they kind of put my hands on the station, and I started just like trying to mime typing. And I was looking the wrong way, and they had me walk, and I was walking, and I don't know if you remember this, but I was trying to walk, and I didn't know that I didn't know my way around the bridge yet, and I bumped into somebody, and I go, oh, I'm sorry, and I hear, oh, that's okay, precious.
That sounds like me.
On brand, yes.
Well, the thing is, though, Ava, we couldn't hear a word you were saying. That Osnalis head was this big, lumpy, fishy-looking head, right? And what we heard was,
Yeah.
right? Are you dying in there? I couldn't hear. Is she dying? I don't know. Yeah.
And inside I'm going, I'm fine!
That's all we heard. Yeah.
Did you eventually get used to the weight of the head and the moving, or did it take?
Yeah, it took a minute, but this is the joy of prosthetics. Like it's a team effort. The artists who create the prosthetic really help you to understand how it plays and what you're in. So I was lucky enough to be able to see some playback early days. So I realized, like, you know, in Osnalis, Ava, has to look down. I'm like this inside the helmet to get the eyes to play for camera. So as soon as I saw that, I kind of understood like how to create her movement to do like all the head tilts and the expressions and stuff. Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah.
And Doug, you're no stranger to prosthetics and bodywork.
What?
I'll tell you later. I'll catch you up. Okay.
Yeah. It's a surprise. But did you find an opportunity to kind of mentor these two or anyone else who was there?
Not by force. I wasn't like, come here, young fella. Let me tell you how. But we ended up having chats all the time, yes. I might find someone in prosthetics on set and go and grab their hands, because I find that when I'm in prosthetics, having human touch is all important to remind you that you're still here, you're alive, and there are other people around to take care of you. So I would grab hands and say, I understand what you're going through. That was how I would open the conversation, and that I think it seemed to help. I got nice reactions from that. And I think the first day I met Dave Tomlinson was on when you were Klingon. It was in one of those first episodes. I was not in makeup that day, and I came or was I in makeup? I was in makeup. I was in serious makeup. But I wanted to have a look at the Klingon ship because it was such an artistic work of wonder. That ship was, and you were standing there, and I thought that you were Kenneth Mitchell. And underneath the makeup, so, right, Klingon. And we'd met, and Kenneth and I had only met briefly before that. So I'm like, oh, yeah, hi again. Good to see you. And you acted like we all knew each other.
Okay, well, here's the thing.
Okay.
Here's the thing. So I'm standing there in my Klingon makeup again. I'm like, I'm a Klingon right now. I'm in this incredible set. I'm still adjusting to this crazy turn my life has taken. And Doug Jones walks in the room in his Saru makeup. And he comes over to me, and his prosthetic face lights up, and he's like, darling, how are you? And I'm like, this man can see through the rubber. He sees me. He sees the soul inside. He sees my light through all of this. He's really this magical. And so I was just like, oh, he can see you, and he can see me, and I can see you. And then in the prosthetics trailer, when they pulled it off, and yours was already off, he looked up at me and he said, you're so pretty.
Why would you cover that with rubber? Really, seriously. Yeah.
I love it. That's wonderful.
It reminds me of the first time I met Ken Mitchell. He was in his full head, but outside of this trailer, just like in a t-shirt, and with everything else just sort of hanging, and just like sipping a smoothie. And we had this like 45-minute chat, getting to know each other while he's like full Klingon, but like wonderful, friendly Ken Mitchell soul coming through. And so, hello, Ken.
We love Ken. Yes. Thunder love. Yeah, thank you. So, Raven, I was looking up some of the work you've done. You've worn all the hats. Your list is long, working from TV, film, stage, commercials, voiceover, dancing, singing, directing, producing, and set work.
Yeah.
Do you have a preferred medium? Obviously, acting is a great love, but you have, whether it's those or even being behind the scenes, do you have a preference? And did you get to do any of that on Discovery, or did you just get to enjoy being on camera?
Oh, wow. Great question, and thank you. While on Discovery, yeah, I just enjoyed trying to be in that surreal moment of like, holy crap, I'm on Star Trek! And I just stare down at the floor and be like, oh my goodness, seeing the insignia and being like, I'm in the sick bay, and oh my God, and I'm in this outfit. So it was really a joy to do that. But it's kind of like whatever day you catch me on, you know, how I feel. Like some days I feel in the writing mode, because that's like a real intimate thing. Some days I just need to work with my hands. I have a lot of energy, and so like it comes out that way. So building masks, building props, like that is a real joy of mine. I love to knit, I like to make jewelry, I like to just like do things. I'm kind of like, I was always that kid that was just doing something. So it's like, what day of the week is it? Is it a Tuesday? Okay, I'm gonna be a writer. Is it a Wednesday? I'm gonna be a painter, you know? It's just allows me access into this world.
I love that, yeah. I think it's a creative soul, right? I get that, that's beautiful. And Anthony, you know, you're mostly known for stage. I think there's quite a lot of people who know you from that world. Yes. And you played Paul Stamets for many years on Discovery. Now that we're kind of on the other side of that, do you miss that world? Where's your head at now with Paul?
I mean, I think it's known now publicly that we didn't know that season 5 was going to be the end of it until after we did it. So that was a hard thing to not have the chance to get to really close all the circles. Because, you know, at the end of season 5, it was like, there's this wonderful new question, like, what now for Paul? Because as such a brilliant scientist, his major life work is gone. That the spore drive is being retired for understandable reasons because of ethical concerns, et cetera. He's now, you know, part tardigrade, et cetera. So, but now what is such a great question for any human being, let alone a brilliant scientist. So I had to kind of like mourn the loss of that chance to do that, as well as mourn the loss of at least one. We thought we had at least one more season where we could all be together and, you know, close all those chapters. So that took some time. Thankfully, you know, wonderful things happened in my life in the meantime where I had 2 children. So that's kind of helped that. So, but I mean, it was such a gift to be able to be a part of this in general, but also to be able to play a character over the course of years. That was new to me. I've played characters over the course of years, but that they don't change. I do the same play for years. But to get to start Paul where he's like grumpy Paul, and then get to be a little less grumpy, a little more, you know, but like earned softness, earned love. That was really cool. To get to build this family with Blue and Wilson was really amazing. To get to see all the growth of all my fellow actors, like to be a part of something that changed and grew over time. That was such a gift. And you know, I thought maybe we had one more chance, you know. But
well, how about the rest of you now, kind of coming out on the end? Have you thought about maybe where your character is? You know, we have Academy that's still in that world, in that timeline. But has that caused you to kind of look back and maybe think about what Linus is doing?
Well, the interesting thing about Linus's journey, it was very closely mapped with my own over the run of the series. And so season 5, he had been fully promoted to the bridge, and I felt like finally, as a character and an actor, I was like, I figured it out. I'm here, and then the show got canceled, and I was like, oh my god. So I think Linus would have just continued to offer his Linusness to the ship soup, as it were. Continued his misadventures.
Yeah, what do you see as what Linus brings to the bridge? What? Obviously, it's a necessity.
Obviously, it's a necessity.
Yeah.
I think Linus has again, like I mapped his journey very closely with my own, and I think we were both figuring things out at the same time. And so I think his confidence grew as my confidence grew. And so I think he was probably on the brink of making a giant scientific discovery that would have gone wrong. Like maybe he was studying something like light density, or I don't know, you're the doctor, but he's studying light density in his stateroom, and then something goes wrong and the ship is in danger, but he'll figure it out.
I love that. That's perfect. What about the rest of you now on the other side of Discovery? Kind of working in the creative arts, right? We finish a project, there's an element of mourning. Sometimes it's harder than others. Does it still kind of live with you, or are you kind of like, it was great, on to the next project?
Well, first of all, there are aspects of Tracy Pollard, that I just love and have really internalized and embraced, like just her strength and her kick-assness. Like I go into certain situations just a little bit more like,
Like what would she do?
What would she do?
Yeah.
What would Tracy do? But you're asking as far as like what future like projects going on we have? Well, actually, I've been dipping a toe into the shamanic arts and that of being a shamanic practitioner and learning different ways of medicine work, different ways of healing ourselves through energetic ways. Thanks. I've kept it on the DL, but it's time. No more hiding, and time to
I
just
guess not.
enjoy.
Yeah, thank you.
And
I'd like to think I didn't pressure you into that one.
Yeah, because I feel like there's so much there in the world to explore and discover, and it's a beautiful new community. So that's where my future is taking me for a bit.
That's exciting. That's really beautiful. What about you, Ava?
So as far as my characters on Discovery, well, Osnalis, Lieutenant Arav, and Lieutenant Ina, a human Starfleet officer that I played season 3 and 4. Yeah! We love Ina! Yeah! She helped get the bridge crew out of some trouble into season 3 and probably back into some in season 4. So they're both living in the future. They're in the world of Starfleet Academy, and I'd like to imagine that Lieutenant Arav, Osnalis, is teaching a new generation of Osnali how to be good little Starfleet officers, and all about sciences and new discoveries and new worlds. And Ina's probably leading some tactical defense workshops.
Love it. That's wonderful. Doug, where's Saru? What's Saru up to?
These days?
Yeah.
Boy, what a journey Saru had, right? Going from a fearful little Kelpian to like action Saru, right? And thank you, baby. And married to the lovely President Tarina, right? Oh, right. So yeah, honestly, for me, when season 5 came to a close, and we found out afterward that was the last of our show, I thought Saru really did come. Unlike you, I feel bad for you. I do. But Saru's story kind of came to a lovely closure, I thought. He got a promotion as an ambassador for the Federation to represent planets of his size, welcoming them into the Federation. And he's, had his, my wedding was the last episode, right, with Tarina. So he's got his love life in order, and he's got his career in a place. And I'm 65 years old now, so I like to think that Saru wanted to slow down and get off the ship with all the dangers that are coming at him every day. So he can be like a dignitary now. I love that. I love that for him. And so between his dignitary duties, he's probably, you saw his quarters, he's probably gardening a lot now. A lot of plant life. And other than that, in my own personal life, once Saru came off of me, the rubber bits, I have a long 40-year career under rubber bits, and the last 2 years I've been playing nothing but humans, and enjoying it very much.
How are you finding that? Is that...
Oh my gosh. It's lovely to go into the makeup trailer and be done in 10 minutes. Yeah, that's lovely. That's lovely.
Fair enough. I love that. That's wonderful. I want to step back a little bit because Ava, we bonded briefly, but so I did my PhD in Glasgow and you studied in Europe. Do you want to share a little bit about kind of what your training was, what brought you over there, what that journey was like?
Yeah, well, what initially brought me over to Europe was the Rotary Exchange Program. I don't know if we have any Rotarians in the house. Yay! Of course you would be a Rotarian if you're a Star Trek fan. So I went over to Holland, the Netherlands, as an exchange student there, and then I was just an ambassador for Canada. And yeah, yay! What's up? And I completed my year there, came back to Canada, and then my father was in the Canadian military for 39 years. And my mother was a military police officer as well. Yay! So the system in Starfleet is not unknown to me. So he got stationed over in Germany to work with NATO, and I was back over there. And I was applying for a bunch of different schools while I was over there and trying to work. And I ended up getting accepted to the Prague Film School in the Czech Republic. Yeah. Yeah, I was part of their pilot program, Acting for Film, and I was with 50 filmmakers from all over the world. So I got to learn at a very formative age in my career how to tell stories from different cultural perspectives from all over the world. It was very cool. Yeah.
That's amazing. I love that. You find a lot of different sort of, it's like the arts and the creative, there's a common thread and then there's a lot of different cultural differences too in how you approach stuff. Did you sort of find that coming back and working in Canada or?
Yeah, it was interesting to go from like such a place where it was all different cultures, all different perspectives, like focused and free in an artistic, like in a student perspective learning. It was much like going from the academy and then actually being on the ship on the bridge as a Starfleet officer. Because I jumped pretty much right into professional circles in Toronto, where it's also quite multicultural, but it's funneled into now you're auditioning for a US network television show. And just to have that funneled professionally right away was really cool.
Yeah, that's amazing. Thank you. So I want to ask all of you, some of you have done panels before, some of you are new to the cruise, so people might know these stories, but maybe we can just kind of go down the line, so I'll start with you. But what was your relationship to Star Trek before now being on a stage and part of a Star Trek show? Before you even started working on Star Trek, were you into it? Was anyone in your life into Star Trek? What was your relationship with it before the show?
I'm the biggest nerd in my family, by far.
Many people here can relate.
I know, these my people. So I never subscribed to any one science fiction thing. I just liked all science fiction. I grew up loving Doctor Who. Tom Baker was my doctor, and when I lived in a very small rural town outside of Toronto, and I didn't really appreciate or understand the legacy or history of Doctor Who. And when Tom Baker regenerated into Peter Davidson, I was so confused and mortified that my favorite doctor had been replaced, I stopped watching the show for a time. I was so angry. I was like, what have they done? So I grew up loving, my intersection with Star Trek was The Next Generation. That was the thing as a teenager that I really connected with the franchise, and the characters really spoke to me, and it's always been in the weave. And to be a part of it is a mind-blowing experience.
That's amazing. Yeah, what about you, Raven? What was your...
My mom was a big Star Trek fan, and so it was like, I think it was Saturdays, I can't remember, but we would cuddle up on the couch and just watch the original Star Trek. Like that was my introduction to it, and it has a very dear place in my heart.
I figured the way you talked about getting to be on the bridge in the med bay in a uniform, that's a moment.
Yeah, huge moment.
Very cool. What about you, Ava? Were you into Star Trek?
Well, again,
it's okay if you're not, by the way. it's okay.
Is it?
Like, I didn't make that clear up front, but like,
If we weren't before, we are now.
exactly.
Right?
But my mom was a big Voyager fan. Yeah! I think she saw a lot of herself in Captain Janeway. And so we just grew up sitting on the couch at night watching that.
Amazing. I love that.
I too was the biggest nerd in my family. Surprise, surprise. Grew up in the 70s, so it was Lord of the Rings, DC Comics, Star Wars, Star Trek, and watching Star Trek on the after school on the whatever it was in Illinois. I think it was Channel 9 or 32. I don't remember. And then I very vividly remember going to see the the first original movies, all three of them, in the theater when I was a little kid. But then I didn't engage with Star Trek as much through the 90s because I was working a lot. So that was the day, I wasn't like watching much TV. So I missed all of Next Gen. I missed all of Deep Space Nine. I missed Enterprise. And then when I got cast in the show, which was like, what is happening? Then I went back and through my very dear friend who's been a huge Trekkie since he was a teenager, who we're around the same age. He gave me a really great list of like really important episodes to watch through all the series, and so I did that and started making my way through the rest of it, and which was incredibly inspiring to see the great work by so many wonderful artists and actors that I was now going to be a part of that legacy.
Yeah, that's amazing.
For me, well, I was born in 1960. So by 1966, I was old enough to go, who's that guy with pointy ears? I think I love him. I did. Watching the original series as a 6-year-old, 6, 7, 8-year-old was, I did relate to first of all, they're in outer space and this is possible? Really? It doesn't make you think of the possibilities out there and dreaming ahead. And seeing like another species called a Vulcan was, he's tall, he's lanky, he looks different than everybody else. I really can relate to that guy. So let's jump all the way ahead to when I got the call that I was being offered the role of Saru, a new species called Kelpians, on this new show called Star Trek Discovery. And I'm like, it's happening now at age 56. I was there at the time. And I'm like, well, it's about time after a career under rubber bits. I'd never been on a Star Trek show yet. Are you kidding me? Really? But when I met with the writing team, they told me that you're a Kelpian, you're not a Vulcan, but you're going to be the Spock of this show. That kind of brought me all full circle in my love. Yeah.
Absolutely, I love that. A couple of you mentioned getting the call, right? Was there anyone in your life, I think you mentioned telling your mom about when you got cast and you were like, I gotta tell this person, or I can't wait to tell this person?
I was very good about the secrecy because I had signed the documents and there was such a elevated sense of secrecy in that first season that I was like, they could be following me. I'm just not going to talk about it. So I didn't say anything to anyone for months. And it was shortly before the premiere of the first season, and my family was getting together for a big dinner. And I thought, well, I'm just going to do it. I'll make a big announcement over dinner. And so everyone's eating. I'm like, I have an announcement, everyone. I've got this incredible opportunity and job, and so I'm going to be in the new Star Trek show. And everyone was like, oh, that's great, and congratulations, everyone's really excited. And my mom, who is not a nerd, said, David, that's really wonderful. Would you please pass the butter? And it was a little like, ouch, lady, but I realized looking back, like later that day when I was fuming, I was like, I thought what she did was actually very interesting because she was like acknowledging the change in my life that had happened, but she was reminding me that nothing was going to change here around this table. She's like, you may have this amazing life-changing opportunity, but you're still going to pass me the butter. And I kind of think that's kind of cool.
Yeah. That's wonderful. Any other stories, people you told? Yeah?
My friend Bill, I mean, he was the first person I had to tell, and he was the one who then gave me that incredible list. And, you know, it was just, we were such nerds together about everything. And then for him to be able to give me the depth and breadth of his knowledge in such a meaningful way was really, really, really wonderful.
I love that.
My lovely Mrs. Laurie, she would be the Star Trek fan in our family even more than me. She was Next Generation, Deep Space Nine, Voyager, and in fact, and I'd come into the room and she'd have one of them on, and I'm like, well, that's that Worf guy. Is this Next Generation? No, it's Deep Space Nine. Like, well, right. So I had to get caught up. You know, yeah, she was a conduit to that. Thank you. And. What was the question?
Telling someone that you got on Star Trek.
Oh, that's right. So she was the first one I told, of course, and she was like, oh. You know. And then what happened? Anthony, do you remember the first press release they put out about casting was you and me and Michelle Yeoh in a press release, and I was doing press at the time for a movie called The Bye Bye Man. I was the Bye Bye Man, and it's not. We'll talk about it later.
Bye bye.
And every journalist had seen that press release and were like, okay, so they started asking me questions, and so I tried to navigate. Yeah, I'm excited, and then I got getting calls from CBS and Paramount immediately going, you can't talk about it. Oh yeah, and I'm trying my best. I wanted to massage the journalists, but yet not let anything out. It was a tough call.
That is hard, yeah, definitely. You had mentioned seeing Spock on your screen. For all of you, was there an actor or a creative force in your life that you saw on the screen or in any other medium that was a driving force for you?
Oh, you mean in general or in this
general,
case?
Yeah, or specifically, but you looked like you had an answer, so roll.
Well, I mean, it was Spock. It was always Leonard Nimoy and Spock, and then when I did the deep dive, it was Brent Spiner.
Yeah.
And Renee Auberjonois. It was always the ones doing this incredible work. But then in Nana, please forgive me for not remembering the names of things, because with toddlers, my brain chemistry is changing. But the episode, the sort of two-hander with her and Harris Yulin, that episode, yeah. Nana is so incredible in that episode. You know, everybody had these amazing moments. Patrick Stewart over and over again, Frakes over, you know. Yeah. So it became the whole tapestry of it.
Yeah. But I think, yeah, in general, so this question came to mind because today would have been Alan Rickman's 80th birthday. And Alan Rickman was like the only thing I thought about for about 3 years of my teenage life. Morning to night. Made time for school and Alan Rickman. That was pretty much it. But yeah, did you have any actors you saw?
Uhura all the way. Characters,
yeah.
she just changed everything for me and looked fabulous and emitted so much. And then, of course, when I was into TNG, Geordi LaForge, yeah. He was it, and Guinan,
I love it.
Just impacted me a lot.
Well, a musical artist would be Tori Amos, who really informed my artistic coming of age and was a huge inspiration and driving force and still is.
That's amazing, yeah.
Outside of the Star Trek world, it would be Dick Van Dyke for me.
Right. Legend.
Yeah, he's a tall, lanky man I watched on TV as a kid who was not afraid to use his entire body. Yeah. And I actually got to meet him this past year. Yeah.
Oh, tell the story, Doug. Tell the story.
Well, it was like a private tea gathering that I was invited to, and I got to sit with him. The first thing he said to me was like, "You're how old?" He thought I looked young for my age. He's 100, right? Thank you, Mr. Van Dyke. And then he said, "Are you a fan of Tommy Tune?" Oh, I'm like, yeah. Well, I never met him, but I actually wore one of Tommy Tune's tailcoats in a TV commercial. I was a mime, and I saw on the back label of my borrowed costume that it was made for Tommy Tune. You know, Broadway star Tommy Tune. I was like, oh, it fits me like a glove. So I was able to tell Dick Van Dyke that, and he was quite impressed. Yeah.
That's lovely. I love it. Ava, what about you? Creative inspirations, actors?
Well, as a fledgling little prosthetics performer, when I got onto the bridge of Star Trek Discovery, this one right here. Yeah, it was you. Yeah. Like Shape of Water. I worked TIFF the year Shape of Water premiered, and I saw it, and I was like, and then I was like,
And then he's just so mean.
Yeah, it was terrible.
He's just so mean to everyone all the time. Not true. Kidding.
It really can't be understated how present and supportive Doug is on set, especially to the prosthetic performers. He's watching details that nobody else is watching. I remember playing a Saurian diplomat, and who is a very different physicality than Linus, and we were at the table with Trina and Rillick?
Rillick.
Yeah.
Yes.
And so I just was doing this little gesture with my fingers, like as I was kind of sitting contemplating whatever. And I didn't think anyone would notice or see it. And Doug came up at the end of the day in the makeup trailer. He said, "What you were doing with your fingers today was really marvelous. It was really great." And it's like, he was always watching, and he's always supporting, and he's always got a question. The first day we intersected on set, when I was in my Linus outfit, you said, "This is amazing. How does he walk?" Just this amazing reminder that, again, that the mask goes forward. And he's like that for everybody on set. You are such an incredible, supportive, loving, generous artist.
Hear, hear. Hear, hear. Hear, hear. Whether you're in a mask or not, because you did the same for me. My first day, my first scene was with you, and we had to do a walking and talking, and I had the biggest words.
Is that the walk and talk?
In history of words.
Guys, you don't understand. I think Raven Dauda delivered the longest word in Star Trek history. Was it not 7 syllables?
Adrenocorticotrophic. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah. Yeah. And I wouldn't have been able to say that without you.
That is impressive. That's wonderful. Now, even especially now that we have some removal from being on set, when you look back on it, were there any other set memories? I mean, we mentioned sort of the first scenes and working with Doug, but yeah.
I remember the end. So, okay, here's the thing about being on a show like Star Trek. There's many things, but one of them is that, you have to learn a lot of this kind of dialogue in a very compact period of time, and then you have to unlearn it and learn a whole bunch of new dialogue in a very compact. So by the end of the season, especially season 1, which is the first season, it's like the cache of our brains had to be cleared out, but it was like struggling. It was like you could hear the gears grinding. And there was one day towards the end, and they also added episodes toward the end of the season, so it wound up being a bit longer than we thought it was going to be. So at the end of season 1, there's this scene where there's like 6 or 7 of us on the bridge in a circle, having to talk through some big galactic problem, and all of us, every single one of us, would start our line and then just go, What? Line? For like 2 hours, we all completely went. Our brains were leaking out of our ears at the end of it, But we made, and of course we were able to do enough takes that they can cut it together. But if you watch that scene, you'll never know. But we were all like, what is happening? What is happening?
Did the technobabble ever get easier?
Never.
For either?
Well, it did. It was just like there was then, like everything else, you get a muscle, like, okay, now I know what that is, so now I can get better at doing that. But by the end of season 1, I was like,
But you rarely went up on your lines.
I know.
You were on point all the time. Oh my God. I was one of the worst flub-ups on a daily basis until Tig Notaro joined us. God bless that woman.
I had to write some dialogue for Tig, and there was a lot of back and forth. Yes. Yeah.
But again, you would never know. Watching the episode, you would never know. And she was brilliant. And one of the things is she didn't really care that she had a hard time with it. She would just sort of like, what is it? Okay. And then she'd say, what? Okay, so she didn't get into like this like feedback loop of like, you know, getting upset. She was just sort of like, I don't know, I'm not an actor, I'm just a comedian, and I am doing science, you know.
Yeah, and you're the engineer, and now you have to do this. So amazing. What I love about Star Trek, we have so many shows, and every Star Trek is someone's Star Trek. Have you all done conventions before? Or okay, great. So are there any kind of memorable fan interactions you may have had talking to people if they come up and mention their relationship with Star Trek, specifically with Discovery?
I mean, many people have shared stories about either parents with their trans kids or a young trans person or non-binary person coming up and just, even if they're not using a lot of language all the time, but just touching on the meaning of our little family and what that did for them. Whether it was a scene where Adira talked about their pronouns for the first time or where there was other moments between us, but that I've had so many moments of that have been really meaningful.
I did a Star Trek Las Vegas convention, and there was a woman dressed as Guinan and a gentleman dressed as Data, and their outfits together looked fabulous. And so I was taking a picture of her, and I walked up to her, and as I got closer, she realized who I was, and she was like, "Do you know who you are?" And I was like, "Do you know who you are?" Like, it was great. Like, it was such a fabulous moment. And then one time as well, I received like a message, DM, from a woman who was going through cancer, and her doctor is an oncologist and a black woman, and she was like, watching you on Star Trek really helped give her the strength to be able to beat it, and she is cancer-free.
Oh, yeah. Oh. Yeah, and on that same note, Raven, that is my favorite type of fan interaction, when I hear the personal stories about what touched them. And we played through the pandemic, so there was a lot of escape and a lot of stuck at home, and we could take them out of their house for a minute. Yeah. I hear a lot about that. Thank you for being with us through that. And all of the stories of I was going through cancer treatments and your show helped me get through it. Or I used to watch Star Trek with my dad, and he's passed away now, so when I watch it again, it brings him back. I love these stories, and we wouldn't hear them if we weren't here on these interacting with you. So thank you so much for sharing your stories with us as we share ours with you.
Any other fan? I don't want to step on anyone if you had one.
Well, in the pandemic, I received a number of messages just for, I laughed today because of Linus, and I'm really grateful for that laugh. And that I found like, oh, he's out in the world doing his work in this really hard time, and he's making people laugh, and that was really beautiful. It's what's like I said, it's the personal, like understanding that our work has a personal resonance that go beyond like us going to set every day. It's then the ripple effects. Yeah, it's beautiful.
That's great.
Yeah, I mean, a little bit same as you, and I'm lucky enough to kind of literally jump ship from ship to ship, because I'm on a few of the other shows as well. And it's just nice to get fans from every show just asking me like what my favorite ones are, and like really open a dialogue. Of course, it's Discovery.
Good answer.
And just like really talk to everybody about like all over the world. That's the wonderful thing about Trek, is it's really like it transcends everything. There's fans from all perspectives, all cultures. They're all excited about it, and it's just nice to have that connection wherever we go.
Yeah, I love that. So we went forward and kind of asked a little bit about what your characters would be doing now, but we're gonna roll it back and get a little bit goofy if you want. That's fine. If the current TV model restricts how many episodes we get a season, but we all remember classic Star Trek, 23, 26 episodes a season, and you get what we lovingly call filler episodes. And, things like Data's Day, where we get to see Data learn tap dancing. And if your character had a Data's Day episode, what would they get up to?
That Culber would take Stamets on a clothing shopping trip, and Stamets would be pulling his hair out the whole time, but Hugh would be insisting that he upgrade his wardrobe.
I love it. I love it. That's perfect. I love it. No notes. Yeah, perfect. All right. No notes. Fantastic. Yeah. What about you? Talked a little bit about gardening, but
of course I would be gardening. But I think that my lovely Tarina and I would be on a vacation. We go back and forth between Navarre and Kaminar, between our home planets. But we'd be on vacation somewhere else, relaxing, and then we might have a little discussion about having children.
Ooh.
Right, and then coming up with drawings of what they might look like. Right? Yeah.
I hate to sort of get to a position where you have to call in third-party suggestions and say, well, what if? Do I want the answer to this? Hey, any other day of the life fun?
Well, I would run with what I said earlier, that Linus is trying to control some scientific experiment gone wrong, and he's just trying to keep it chill, and as it gets getting worse and worse and worse, and by the end of the episode, everything's fine, of course.
Yeah, obviously. That's great.
I would love to see Tracy Pollard doing something like a cabaret number or something somewhere. She's just singing, she's just doing something so off-brand, not being cheeky or stern or anything. She's just singing it up and doing it with feathers and being fabulous.
Okay, then I want Linus to have to be the captain for an episode, because I want Linus full-time in the chair.
Perfect. Love it. Love it. Oh, I'd be in the audience, as Nollis would be in the audience, cheering her on, and eating all of the food, mostly shellfish. Mostly shellfish.
Weird and dark. I love it. Yeah,
thanks.
That's fantastic. I do like to think that even though we don't get to see the cultural exchange shows on the ship anymore, that they're still existing, that there's little violin performances and opera shows and cabaret performances, all of that. They have to continue. The cruise, right? We're on the cruise. We have some people who've been on this before and newcomers. What are your first impressions so far? We have a week ahead of us. Are you enjoying it? It's very different to a lot of conventions, so.
It is incredible. I don't know that I'm I'm not touching ground, but you know what I mean? I don't think I have my feet on the floor yet. I've just been buoyed by so much love and affection and good vibes and energy, and to see my friends that I haven't seen in a long time is really special, and to see all of you. So maybe by Friday, I'll have my feet back on the ground, but for now, I'm just living in a happy cruise dream world.
It's wonderful. So glad.
Yeah, love it, love it, love it, and want more. That's just where I am right now. I'll try and pace myself out. Don't know how it will go, but it's just been extraordinary, seeing everyone and receiving the love and just being here and on the water. It's just a magical time, and I'm gonna enjoy every moment of it. Yeah,
it's beautiful. Great. Yeah.
Same. I mean, it's my first cruise, full stop. First Star Trek cruise and first cruise. Yay! And so far, I'm loving it. I'm doing the same thing Osnellis would do. I'm often at the buffet eating all the food, mostly shellfish. But I'm just this is such a special, everybody says it that I speak to, but it's true, and I'm finding it out. It's such a special event because everybody here is so dedicated to this, and you all lead such interesting lives. That's the wonderful thing about a Star Trek family and audience. Everybody's so interesting and cool and fun, and everybody has great stories and great perspectives, and I love to hear them all and hang out with my friends.
Yeah.
And the folks who are back multiple times now. What brings you back? What are you excited about the cruise?
That, I mean, that it's being inside of a space of self-expression, being seen. I don't mean just like, oh, you're seeing it, but like we see each other. We see and get each other, and it's safe space. And there's a lot of joy. There's a lot of like play and joy at the heart of this. And there's a sense that we are all in this together. And oh, hi, you say a nice thing, but we like have a great day. I'll have a great day too. I don't know. It's just that kind of floating on that bubble that you were talking about, like floating in a really warm, safe space.
It is. It's beautiful.
Well, this is my third cruise with the Star Trek gang, and thank you, love you. And my first one, I had no idea what to expect because I'd done a lot of conventions over like teens of years, but this was not quite a convention, right? And so much more. And by the end of that first cruise, I remember like, oh, we have to get off the ship? It was like being at summer camp. I just made all these great new friends, and I was like, I will write you every day, and we're gonna be best friends forever and ever. Yeah, that's what I felt like. So coming back again is like, oh, I get to see everybody again, yay! Yeah, and I'm surprised I haven't licked you all yet, but it is so much a family, so much a community, and with a shared interest. This is unlike any other kind of a cruise you'll ever go on.
Yeah. One of my favorite stories, I'm really going to try not to cry, but I like sharing it. It was a couple cruises ago, and I was just finishing writing a talk. It's fine. It wasn't on that cruise, but I was writing a talk in one of the bars on the cruise in a corner just by myself, and it was super quiet, and there were a couple people at the bar just chatting with each other, and I could kind of overhear what they were saying, and they were asking each other if they were having a good time, and this person said, yeah, it's my first time. I'm here by myself, and I think this might be the happiest I've ever been in my life. And I didn't finish. I got another drink and tried not to cry. But for me, that just sums it up so well. I think for many, many of us, you feel that. Whether or not it's the happiest you've ever been in your life, you still feel that it is for people. And that's why we keep coming back. So I love it. I love it here. Okay. Do your job, Erin. It's fine. Okay. I think just to kind of wrap things up, one of the things I like asking people, we see all of you as actors, we see you on the screen, but you're people and you have your own lives. What do you like to read or watch or look? You consume art as well. What is your art, whatever that may look like, that a show you're enjoying watching or types of shows that you like or films or theater or reading? And if you have any recommendations, I'm sure people would love to say, Anthony Rapp told me to read this book. So.
Well, I recently enjoyed The Traitors UK, which I thought was a great season, but the thing that I love about watching The Traitors is that we used to play the party game Mafia when we get together as a cast. So it's like, and there is some devious, shifty behavior on those nights, and people getting eliminated. And so it's like watching this show. I'm like, oh, I've been there. I wouldn't have made that decision. Oh yeah, no, it's them. No, look out. So that has a very personal connection because we would get together, and that's the thing that we would do.
And interestingly, Sonequa Martin Green, who's like light and love. Of all things,
the most
in the world,
devious.
Was the best Mafia. When she would be Mafia, she was the best kill. She would succeed at winning to the end more than anyone else.
Stone cold. Stone cold.
Yes. Go girl. Anyway, so, I haven't consumed as much having toddlers as I normally do, but I go in bursts where I can like read a lot. That's been my big thing is reading. There's been some amazing stuff that I've read. So if you go on my Goodreads, I write reviews. I stand behind every word, including things that many people find really popular that I'm like, I'm not so sure about that one. But I don't feel so bad about writing a negative review about a book that sold 1 million copies because I'm not hurting them. but I still am gonna say I don't get it sometimes. But if it's something that I love, I will also celebrate it to the ends of the earth. So Ursula Le Guin is my all-time favorite author. So I actually recently reread The Dispossessed and Left Hand of Darkness, and they remain masterpieces, and I recommend anyone who, especially people who like Star Trek, reading those books. Anyone who likes literature, reading those books.
Yeah. Cool. Love it.
I watched recently Hollywood on Netflix. Hollywood, Ryan, is it Johnson? His? I always get the Ryans confused, the Ryans that are just so fabulous. But what I loved about it was just a reimagining, like it was a little bit of blend of history, but also like a reimagining a different world of how it could be. And I think that's beautiful when we project forward, right, the world that we want to create while still, honoring where we came from and all that. I just love that type of creativity. And it was beautifully done and great, acting and all that. So yeah, that was.
Please go. All right, we'll leave the best for last.
Gotta have something great.
So I, like you two, am a giant nerd, and I'm also a martial artist. So my lovely fiance over there recently, hi baby, hi Adam, told me to check out a little show on Crunchyroll called Solo Leveling.
I've been watching that.
Yeah.
Yes.
So good. Oh my God. So good. I loved it. Yeah.
Very great. Love it.
Now, how do you... This is going to be great. I'm not much of a reader. I did my favorite book I ever read, novel, was This Present Darkness. Anybody? Yeah. It was a small town, and the people living in town were unawares of a battle going on between angels and demons over their town. It was awesome. And I was actually pegged to play the lead demon in that, if they were going to make a movie of it, and then the plug was pulled at the last minute, so it's like I never got to play him. But otherwise, and this is going to answer you're not expecting, on a Star Trek cruise, I could watch reruns of The Golden Girls until the day I die.
Yeah, do you have a good B. Arthur impression?
I don't do impressions, but I through my life I've been all of them at one point or another. You know what I mean? I'm getting into my Sophia phase.
All right, well, just to wrap things up, kind of last question. We can start with you and come back down the line since we've had to do, we've left you. Yeah, no worries. But is there anything you're working on writ large you'd like to promote? Is there anything you're excited about, or anything on the cruise you'd like to make sure people check out? Open question, but what's next? What would you like?
Thank you for asking. A couple things. I've been doing a lot of indie films over the last couple years, and they're starting to come out slowly. So I have a movie come out in theaters, actually, in Alamo Draft Houses across the U.S., February 27th, the day we dock. And it's called Operation Taco Gary's. Weird title. Operation Taco Gary's is a road trip with Simon Rex from the Scary Movie franchise, Dustin Milligan from Schitt's Creek, and Jason Biggs from the American Pie movies. The first two, Dustin and Simon, are playing two brothers on a road trip. One of them is a conspiracy theorist about aliens. He happens to be right. And I might be the alien that is leading the Earth takeover from a taco stand. So I'm playing an alien, but I'm trying to pose as a human. So it's like, and I'm not quite pulling it off. Yeah. So that'll be in theaters, and then it'll be streaming in April. Otherwise, in the meantime, still in progress is the filming of the Doug Jones documentary, and which all of these people have been interviewed for or will be interviewed for. So you'll see lots of faces in there that you recognize. And it's very humbling and very embarrassing to talk about, because it's like, I don't think there's anything to document, but the producers will have argued with me about that. So that we're hopefully, that I don't know when it's going to be released, but there's a website and there's an IMDb page, and we have cards with us so we can hand out to show you how to get there and keep abreast of what's happening with that.
Thank you.
I'd like to promote the continued growth and edification of my two beautiful sons. That's cool. Ryan and Keone. I'm doing D&D with Todd and Eugene and Tawny too. I'm doing concerts here on the stage tomorrow night. So that's here. And then I'm doing a one-man play in New York in March that I'm really excited about. That's why I'm spending my off time here is like memorizing 47 pages of monologue, which is really better to do when there's a sea there. Like I'm sitting outside with the water, it's helping my brain absorb it all. So.
Fantastic. Thank you. Ava, what's going on?
So I'm on this other little show called Starfleet Academy. Maybe you've heard of it. Yeah, so I play Lieutenant Hale on the bridge over there. She's engineering. She's always solving problems and fixing stuff that gets broken. And I'm on this other little show called Strange New Worlds. Yay! I stunt double Rebecca Romaine on that show, and we've got seasons 4 and 5 coming out for you soon, and the rest of season 1 on Starfleet Academy. Yay! Streaming now on Paramount Plus.
Good job.
Love that. I'm in the process, it's been a little while, but I'm in the process of writing my second solo show. So yeah, we'll see what's going to come up with that and dabbling into what it is to write a screenplay, a pilot screenplay. So I'm looking into that. But immediately, sometime during this beautiful cruise, I'll be making candy sushi. There'll be a candy sushi class at the Sushi Replicator, so you can come and find me there. And hopefully we won't make too big of a mess.
Fantastic. All right. My new wonderful friend. What do you have going on?
I'm coming off a very big year of writing. So last year I finished work on a play that I've been working on for over a decade, and I wrote a screenplay and a TV pilot and a digital short. So this year I'm marshalling all of that. So when I get back from the cruise, I'm going to start meeting with people and showing them my wares and be, would you like to make my movie? And seeing what happens, but feeling creatively inspired.
That's wonderful. Thank you so much. All right, well, thank you all for coming to this. Let's give one more round of applause for David Benjamin Tomlinson, Dauda, Avaah Blackwell, Anthony Rapp, and Doug Jones. Thank you.